I have lived in California for more than 40 years, and in all that time, I never imagined I would feel this kind of heartbreak from my own children. Yet here I am, sitting alone in my little living room, the golden evening sunlight falling softly across the walls, realizing that sometimes those you love the most can leave you out. And it cuts deeper than I ever imagined. My name is Margaret, and I've always believed that family was everything I worked hard, sacrificed, and gave everything I had for the ones I loved. Every meal I cooked, every bedtime story I told, every scraped knee I kissed. It was all for them. But I learned the hard way. Love and sacrifice don't always come back the way you expect. Today I want to share my story, why my own family left me out, and what life taught me through it all. It's not just my story. Maybe it will feel like your story too. I arrived in California as a young woman, full of hope and dreams. I imagined a life of freedom, laughter, and security. I pictured weekend picnics, birthday cakes, and bedtime stories with my children giggling beside me. But reality hit hard. I had to work multiple jobs just to keep a roof over our heads and food on the table. My husband had passed when my children were very young, and everything fell on me: the house, the bills, the endless responsibilities of raising them alone. I gave up vacations, hobbies, even little joys for the sake of my children. Every morning, I woke before sunrise. Every night, I went to bed exhausted, only to wake up and do it all again. I never complained. I never asked for praise. I thought love was enough. I remember the little moments: cooking breakfast for my son before school, helping him with homework, listening to my daughter's stories about her day. Those were my treasures, my hidden joys. But somehow, no matter how much I gave, I always felt invisible. My love was constant, yet quietly unnoticed. Then, one day, it happened. A message appeared on my phone, simple, short, yet it shattered me. My own son, the boy I cradled when he cried, the boy I stayed up nights worrying about, was telling me I wasn't welcome at my own family gathering. I read it over and over. I thought I must have misunderstood. Surely it was a mistake. But it wasn't. My hands shook. I sat in silence, staring at the ceiling, the evening light fading into shadows. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. And in that moment, decades of love and sacrifice felt invisible, wiped away by a single line of text. I remembered all those times I had given up my own happiness for them, turning down a small vacation so they could go to Disneyland, working late so they could have Christmas gifts, staying quiet so their arguments wouldn't worry them. And yet, here I was, left out. I felt anger, sadness, confusion, all tangled together. How could they not see the life I had built for them? The nights I had stayed awake worrying, the tears I had cried alone, the sacrifices no one thanked me for. It all felt suddenly painfully meaningless. As I sat in my little apartment that evening, looking out at the California sunset, I thought about life. I realized that love is complicated, sacrifice is quiet, and sometimes the people you love the most don't see all you've done. I remembered my youth, growing up in a small town, dreaming of a family I could protect, dreaming of security for my children. I worked so hard. I built a home. I raised them with care. I never imagined that my children's choices, influenced by their own lives and spouses, could hurt me this deeply. I also realized that it wasn't cruelty. My son wasn't trying to hurt me. My daughter-in-law wasn't malicious. They simply made a choice, one I wasn't part of. Sometimes, the hardest lessons in life are learning to accept choices that aren't yours. I spent hours thinking about forgiveness, forgiving them, and forgiving myself for expecting life to go the way I thought it should. Life isn't fair. It doesn't always honor the sacrifices we make, but life teaches us to grow. I remembered my own mother, long gone, and how she had taught me patience and resilience without ever saying it outright. Maybe this was one of those lessons, wrapped in hurt, waiting for me to understand. The next day I received another message. It was from my son. a simple line that made my heart ache and swell at the same time. Mom, we love you. We should have told you sooner. You are always welcome. I realized then that my children's love was still there. It had never left. Sometimes misunderstanding or small decisions create walls. But love, true love, it remains. Even when words fail, I may have been left out for a moment. But my life, my sacrifices, my love, those were never forgotten. And I knew that one day they would understand all I had done for them. And so I tell you this story because perhaps you too have felt invisible, unappreciated, or left out. I want you to know it's not the end. Love finds its way. Life teaches. And sometimes being left out is a lesson in seeing the depth of love that has always been there. California taught me many things: patience, resilience, hope. But most of all, it taught me that family, even when imperfect, is never truly gone. And that realization is the most profound gift of all. And now, as I sit here, I understand something I didn't before: that love doesn't always need words, recognition, or perfection. It simply is, quietly waiting, quietly forgiving, and quietly returning when the time is right. And for that, I am forever grateful.